I'm 17 years old, and I've been tap dancing since I could walk. Tap has always been a huge part of my life, and I'm excited to get to share it with you today. In this presentation, we'll be going over the history of tap dance. I'll share several video clips of famous tap dancers, as well as some of my own performances, and we'll end by teaching everyone a few low-impact tap steps. Now let's get started. To quote famed tap dancer Paul Draper, in tap dance, what the eye sees is sharpened by what the ear hears, and the ear hears more clearly that which sight enhances. I think this quote is a great way to describe tap because it highlights the relationship between the dancing, which is visual, and the percussion that the shoes create, which is auditory. Now we're going to really dive into the history of tap dance. Tap dance began as a combination of West African dance and European dance forms, most notably Irish step dancing. We'll hear more about how these two cultural dancers came together to form tap dance in a little bit. Because tap is made up of multiple unique dance styles, as it developed, two distinct subgenres of tap dance emerged: rhythm tap and Broadway tap. We'll start by learning a little about rhythm tap. Rhythm tap is more closely related to African dance styles. Because of these ties, rhythm tap is characterized by a very grounded body position, similar to West African dance. This is seen through bended knees and louder, heavier sounds. There's also little to no arm or upper body movement in rhythm tap, with a strong emphasis on the footwork being done. There also tends to be a lot of improvisation, meaning the dancers will come up with their choreography in the spur of the moment. And finally, there's a heavy focus on musicality. Rhythm tap may be done with musical accompaniment or a cappella, but either way, the tap shoes are seen as their own instrument. For our first video clip today, I'm going to share with you an example of rhythm tap. This is Savion Glover performing on the TV show Good Day New York in the year 2016. In this video, keep your eyes open for the elements of rhythm tap we just learned, especially Glover's concentration on finding the right rhythms, the intricate footwork he is doing, and his hunched over body position. Now let's learn about the second subgenre of tap dance, Broadway tap. Broadway tap is more rooted in European dance styles, including Irish step dance, Scottish jigs, ballet, and sometimes ballroom dance. Broadway tap also has a more lifted body position when compared to rhythm tap. Dancers tend to stay on their toes with the balls of their feet and look directly out towards the audience. Additionally, there's a lot more upper body movement. There's typically choreography for the arms, known as port de bras and ballet, and even the dancer's facial expressions will be more intentional and exaggerated. Broadway tap will have sharp, well-rehearsed choreography rather than improvisation. Live shows are meant to be kept consistent night after night, unlike in rhythm tap, and performers will practice dancing in sync. Finally, there's a strong focus on performance, meaning the dancers will often be telling a story to the viewers and are expected to have very clean and polished routines. Now we'll watch a video of Broadway tap. This is a performance of Anything Goes at the 2011 Tony Awards, featuring Sutton Foster and the Broadway cast of Anything Goes. In this clip, look for character choices being made by the actors, the synchronization between the dancers, both visually and in the sounds being made by the tap shoes, and the use of arms and upper body in the choreography. Okay, now that we know about the two subgenres of tap dance, we'll return to the history and development of this art form. In the early 19th century, African slaves and Irish indentured servants observed each other's dances on southern plantations in the United States. By combining these cultural dances, the earliest form of tap dance was created. Then, in post-Civil War America, performers spread tap dance through traveling minstrel shows. Now it is necessary to acknowledge the terrible racism that is intertwined with the history of tap dance. Minstrel shows featured predominantly white performers in blackface, attempting to make a profit with their hurtful depictions of African Americans and their culture. And while tap dance has grown to be something celebrated and performed by people of all races in a respectful manner, it is important to remember this upsetting part of history. dancers were believed to be the highest paid vaudeville act in America, and Alice Whitman defied gender expectations by becoming a highly skilled tap dancer during a time when tap was mainly performed by men. Then in 1918, the Harlem Renaissance began in New York. During the Harlem Renaissance, tap quickly gained popularity in jazz clubs, such as the Cotton Club and the Apollo Theater. During the Harlem Renaissance, tap dance was appreciated by both black and white audiences. However, segregation continued, with many jazz clubs only allowing white patrons. Several notable dancers during this time include Bill Bojangles Robinson, who bravely challenged and overcame racial barriers. He refused to wear blackface and broke the two-color rule, in which black tap dancers were prohibited from performing solo. Mr. Robinson was one of the earliest black tap dancers to perform alone. He's also well known for his work in Hollywood and his incredible skill level. Other famous tap dancers from the time period include John Bubbles, known as the father of rhythm tap, the Nicholas brothers, who had added an amazing level of athleticism and acrobatics to tap, and Jimmy Slide, who had an innovative tap style mixed with jazz dance and is known for his signature tap move, the slide. Here are images of the Cotton Club as well as the Nicholas brothers. Now that we learned a little bit about Bill Bojangles Robinson, here is a recording of him performing his stair dance in 1932. This is his most famous routine. Though the origin of stair dances in tap is widely disputed, it is agreed that Robinson popularized it and that stair dances became almost exclusively associated with him after he began performing them. The Harlem Renaissance ended in the mid-1930s, but this is around the same time that tap dance began its golden age in Hollywood. It was commonly found in movie musicals such as Top Hat, Swing Time, Stormy Weather, Easter Parade, and Singin' in the Rain. These movies feature some of the most well-known tap dancers to exist, including Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Bill Robinson, the Nicholas brothers, and Gene Kelly. Now we're going to watch Pick Yourself Up from the 1936 movie Swing Time, starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Astaire and Rogers were famous dance partners and starred in 10 films together. As we watch this dance, pay attention to how they incorporate ballroom dance elements into tap, as well as their light and graceful movements, which the duo was known for. Up next is my favorite tap number, the song Jump and Jive from the 1943 film Stormy Weather. The beginning of this clip will feature Cab Calloway, famous American jazz singer and band leader, while the second half features the Nicholas brothers. Bayard and Harold Nicholas are considered two of the greatest tap dancers of all time, and are famous for adding acrobatic elements into tap dance by combining it with a dance style known as flash dancing. Try to count how many acrobatic tricks you can see the Nicholas brothers perform as we watch this next video. Our final movie clip is one of the most popular, most iconic tap dances to ever exist. Gene Kelly performing Singin' in the Rain from the 1952 movie of the same name. A fun fact is that Gene Kelly was actually sick with a fever while performing this number, making it even more impressive what he does. Next, I'm going to share with you a couple of my own performances. This dance was done to the song Friend Like Me from the musical Aladdin, and I performed it last year with several other members of my dance studio. Try to keep an eye out for some of the Broadway tap elements we learned about today, such as synchronization, connecting with the audience, a lifted body position, and choreographed arm movements. The second video I'm going to share of myself is called Diablo Rojo, which I performed just a few months ago. This dance has elements of flamenco dance, represented in the music choice, the intricate footwork, and the use of clapping at one point.